Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Divinity walkthrough. We are just about to step inside the crime scene.
Who hasn't received Captain Aureus' explicit approval. Not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, your reward for getting your ear chewed off is a waltz through the town's finest magical murder scene. Enjoy.
Finest, what did you say, magical crime scene? Alright, so the reason why I am I'm doing this first is I already got the bloodstone from Evelyn. That is and the reason why I do that one first is because it's actually timed. You can't wait too long, otherwise I think you might be able to completely lose out on it. She might just take off with it. And then on top of that, there's a little choice that you have to make, you know, regarding who lives, essentially. And, you know, again, like I said, you can't wait too long, otherwise that quest will go away. And like I said, I think Evelyn just takes off with it and someone dies. So, anyway, so that was the first bloodstone. This is technically the second one. The inert stones that are left behind, you can actually, I'm probably just going to lug them around for a little while until I figure out what I want to do with them. But it's a good way to kind of, maybe not remember how many you've got, but it's a good way of keeping track of how many you've got. This room here, there isn't much in here, but I'm actually going to, steal everything out of here. So if you can see me kind of just monkeying around. I was waiting for Francis here to move. I wanted to get on this side of him.
Greetings, traveler.
Okay, so there we go. So as I always do here when I'm trying to steal stuff is, I initiate a dialogue with him and get him to, you know, kind of look away, and then I go about my business, and then we'll just turn him around a little bit here.
I hope you've given some thought to my revelation.
Thieving.
I think only of your eternal soul.
Nothing. I don't remember if there was anything really good in here. Now, that actually brings me to a point, though. The items that you get are random. So when I get an item from something or somewhere or a hunk of gold, you may not end up getting, you know, the same amount. You may get something completely different, so keep that in mind.
What's her name, dear friend? For we all begin equal in the conduit's eyes, and only through great deeds may enter into her inner ring. You mean you haven't heard? Oh, what fortune that I may share the goddess's salvation with one who has, as yet, been lost. Steel yourself, friend, for your mortal spirit could be forever transformed from this moment forth. The conduit, our link to the goddess herself, has given us a special gift, and the gift is thus. By following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way, we can each of us live on for a span greater than the number of stars that twinkle within the goddess's right eye. She came from on high to we mortals and showed us the path to the goddess, where all living souls are naturally inclined. She showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but that through her methods we could ascend to greater life in service of the goddess. Ah, for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, friend, through the forest and into the town of Silverglen, where all may be revealed. There, among her followers and friends, dwells the goddess's ecstasy, her one way. Go on the path to the righteous, my friend. Forget not that the conduit has great plans for you.
Okay, so Francis just talks about the conduit, and I think he kind of alludes to the Immaculates. They're kind of a crazy sect. So that's what That's what they've mentioned, or I think a couple of people have mentioned the sects in the game. I'm trying to say that right or enunciate it well because I feel like when the characters say it in game, it just makes it sound like sex. So trying to enunciate it really well so that you can tell what I'm saying. But yeah, they're not saying sex; it's sect. Alright, so I'm going to head in here to Esmeralda's shop. I'm going to loot this joint. And then hopefully... Yeah, I don't think there's much dialogue for the time being, so I'll just talk about probably just random stuff. So this is one of the tougher places to... Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's not completely accurate. It's not like it's a very difficult place to steal. It's just there's multiple sets of eyes, so you have to be careful how you set this up. So just make sure that, you know, if you want to steal from a certain area that you don't have an NPC looking your way. Esmeralda's place has a couple of interesting things. Basically, the bottom floor here, this is all just going to be money, I think anyway. I don't remember, I should say, at least in this little area here, it's going to be mostly things that I can sell for cash. And I will get into the crafting a bit eventually as well. So sometimes what I do is, at the beginning of the game, I'll donate a lot of my items to NPCs to kind of increase, you know, how the NPC views me. And then, I mean, it kind of pays off. I don't know if it's the best idea right away, like... The problem with at the very beginning of the game, you know, you just don't have much to work with. And so if you just donate everything to NPCs to try to get them to view you better, well, you're not making any money. So it can be a little, it can make things a little bit more difficult. But I feel like it's kind of worth it in the long run. I guess I kind of look at it as an investment. And I will be doing a ton of business with NPCs throughout the course of the game, just... in order to, you know, kind of stay up to date on my gear. I think that's generally a good idea in this game. You don't really want to get too far behind gear-wise. Here, this item you get is the smelly panties, which is, I don't know, pretty hilarious. But you get 1 charisma from using these. So I'm just going to equip it and probably I'll just leave it on my main character the entire game. There isn't, as far as like underwear goes, I don't believe there's really anything that stands out other than these. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the smelly panties are also a quest item or related to a quest. So we'll cross that bridge though when we get there. That it's kind of falls in line with the rest of the smelly items. Like we got the smelly socks from Captain Aureus, and it's either 2 more items or 3 more items that we'll come across in the game. So once I actually get there, I'll bring that up a bit more. But all right, so one of the reasons though why I make sure to do the quest there with the crime scene and get that second bloodstone, sorry, is that it will open up another area in the homestead. So the homestead is basically the end of time, which I find interesting. It's some of my favorite games. Apparently, you get to travel to the end of time. You know, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger. Although I guess in Chrono Cross it's technically the bend of time, but kind of same, well, similar aspects. Anyways, wow, there's a tangent for you. But like I said, it unlocks or getting that second bloodstone unlocks the area called the Hall of Champions, and the Hall of Champions is interesting because you can, I guess, recruit. Random, I don't know. Well, I don't know if that they're really random, but you can recruit other characters there. The characters though that you get there don't have really much of a personality. I don't know that they even give them like speakable lines. So That's the only real lame thing I would say about them. So, like, if this is your first time playing through the game, I would almost recommend taking Jahan and Medora. Yeah, Medora. Or any of the other NPCs, like Bear. Is it Bear Daughter or something like that? And then there's one more guy. I forget the rogue's name. We'll come across him in a little while, but I would almost say it's not a bad idea to take them with, just because they have a personality, you know. So that's the only real gripe, again, like I would say, with these other the NPCs that you can get from the end of time. Obviously, we'll go there in a bit, but there I actually leveled up, if you noticed. I must have grabbed, I don't know what I grabbed there, but it apparently, I think it must have given me a bunch of experience, because now my two main characters are leveled. Which is probably a good thing. I think the character that I'm going to end up hiring, I think, starts at level 3, and I think your characters have to be level 3 to hire that character, or the character I'm referring to. I don't remember, though, if it's...
seems to fortify your abilities.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's the case. All right, so here's some dialogue that doesn't matter at all. These choices here don't appear to do anything.
That inspiration hardly flows one way, my friend.
Okay. So the one was just remarking that the other one is quite the thief. Kicking another's bucket. Okay, so there's a couple of books here. This one obviously not looking very good. So this book here, you know, is kind of, I mean, it's a kind of a guide to murder, and so that's not a great book. Or that's not a book I would say that Esmeralda probably should have. Although the fact that she does, you know, obviously definitely increases the suspicion of her. So everyone in town apparently thinks that she had something to do with Jake's murder, and then to find a book like this obviously isn't helping out her case any. And I believe actually you can chat with her and then kind of confront her on the book. I don't know if I'm gonna do that quite yet. Actually, I know I don't quite yet. I'm gonna hold off until I, you know, get some more evidence, I guess I'd say. And I don't remember if you confront her right now. I don't know if that will reduce your standing with her, but since she's a merchant that I like to check every once in a while for items, I generally don't want to reduce my you know, standing with her. So again, for the time being, I won't bother confronting her on the book. Although I could have just saved right here, and then you know, opened up some dialogue with her and just kind of see what would happen. But again, I decided to hold off on that. But yeah, definitely a pretty messed up book too. This is definitely written by someone who is not only experienced, but it seems like enjoys the art. Yeah, it's pretty messed up stuff. So anyways, what's my plan here? Like I said, I'm probably going to dump Jahan for sure. I'm still kind of kicking around the idea of leaving Medora in my party for the rest of the game or not. I kind of wanted to just run around with 4 mages, like dual wielding wands, just to see what it would be like, because even I think the previous game, or the previous playthrough I should say, I went with 3 mages and Medora. The problem is, like, Medora's got some really good abilities, and especially that comeback kid. Comeback kid is really nice, and then the fact that she uses like strength-based equipment, so she'll be able to lug around a lot more like heavy stuff than some of my other characters will. You can definitely get around that. It's more of a, I don't know, kind of like a user-friendly way of going about the game, I guess. You know, you don't want to be cruising around with a bunch of weaklings that can't hold anything, and you're constantly going back to town, although, I don't know. With the waypoints, it's probably not that big of a deal. But yeah, we'll see what I end up doing. But for the time being, you know, I obviously have Jahan and Madara. I always want to say Madara,
The
but it's
hunter
Medora.
returns. I hope you are here to shop.
So
rather
yeah,
than
we'll see.
sleuth.
We'll see what I end up going with. Okay, so here I'm just trying to get this guy to look a different way. I need to finish stealing everything in the inn here, or sorry, not the inn, the whatever, Esmeralda shop. So what else? Oh, we got another. What else is going on here? Got some dialogue. Don't remember this. Okay.
Another perfect heist. You sneak with the subtlety of
Oh,
a tried
okay.
and true.
Oh, okay. This is just the dialogue after you've stole a bunch of stuff. I think the other, maybe the other one, I don't know what the other one was. The earlier dialogue here that I had. Maybe that was just for finding one of the plot items or something like that. But yeah, so that dialogue specifically was, you know, the one complimenting the other one on her ability to basically steal everything. And there actually is a dialogue that you can get if you try to steal and you get caught. And that dialogue option will give you a trait option, if I remember correctly. And I don't remember which one it is, but I'll probably I'll have to activate that, and maybe we'll do that in the next video or something like that, just to show you what you get. I'm pretty sure we've already. It's probably like the egotistical versus what is the other one, or what's the opposite? Altruistic, I think. I think that's the one. But yeah, I'm sure if you say, yeah, well, whatever, I'm gonna keep stealing from people, I'm pretty sure that's the egotistical one, or option, I should say. But
Another piece of trash.
yeah, all right. So we're just trying to keep snagging stuff here. The only problem with doing there we go. I got busted,
Fate is
so I'm gonna have
an
to
ice-cold mistress.
restart my game. And so here, if you notice, the NPC, what's her name? Esmeralda disappeared, which is really kind of weird. But she must like run and go get the guards or something like that, and then the guards come running in. Again, I will actually show you guys what happens. I kind of, what I should really do is just steal a bunch in front of somebody to see what happens too, because I don't know that I've ever really done that. So we'll clear up that mystery in a bit. But all right, so now we're loaded back up. Let's get back to stealing stuff.
Another perfect heist.
Another perfect heist.
Why, thanks. No.
Okay. All right,
The
now she's in
hunter
a better spot.
returns.
And I think what happened there
Rather than
was
sleuth.
the same thing that happens a lot when I'm stealing stuff. Is I probably just walked into someone's line of sight. Either that, or I accidentally tapped the B. I think it's the B button, which makes you stop sneaking. So
I was really hoping
that
to
could have
find
been the case.
better.
But all right, so like I was saying earlier, eventually what I'll do here is I'll just donate a bunch of this stuff, and a lot of this is just garbage. Like well, I shouldn't say like the bread and apples, I believe, are used for cooking. I don't know that I've ever actually made anything, or I don't know that I've ever cooked anything. And there we go. I walked in front of that guy, so it's a good thing I stopped trying to steal. And that's one of the more frustrating things about kind of the whole stealing process in this game is like times like this where I'm on one side of the counter and then I select something to steal and then I walk all the way to the other side. Oh my gosh, it gets so annoying. So luckily that not every area is like that in the game. But the other thing too is, or one of the other things that would make this easier is if I had that walk-in shadow skill. And after I get the or after I make my trip to the Hall of Heroes and recruit whoever it is that I'm going to recruit, I will buy that skill book too, so you can see how nice it is sometimes to be able to just steal right in front of people's faces. And there's other places in the game, like out in the market area, where it's just really hard to get people to look the other way. And there's so many people out there that you pretty much need to have that ability in order to steal out there. So that's another really good reason to have it. But for inside areas, like buildings like this, I still think that this is probably the best method, because the Walk in Shadows unfortunately has a cooldown, and so you know, you would be just standing around way too long waiting for that ability to come off a cooldown, and that would just, I mean, that would be a huge time sink. So I mean, and it already is, as you can see. And you don't need to, you know, you don't need to do this. It's not like you get that much. Or if you want to, you can steal specific things, like paintings are really good to steal. Same with plates and cups. Not the basic plates, but there's like some gold-colored plates. I think Esmeralda actually had some here in her shop.
I hope you are here to shop rather than
So again,
sleep.
you can select specific items to steal instead of, you know, messing around with every little item.
Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you?
So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger, and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches.
Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare. Well, what do you want to know? Sicil. Now that's a sad story. Roofs of elegant homes burned for fuel. Oaken cupboards emptied. And ladies dragging the dregs of their great skirts to bargain for fish bones. I'm telling you, a necromancer must have been at work in Sicil. Perhaps still is. How else do you explain risen dead sprouting like mushrooms in a single night? And that's not even the worst of it. No, the worst is they keep coming back. An endless legion of the dead that even the legion of the living cannot subdue. Listen, if you're going to accuse me of something, you had better find the evidence to back up your ridiculous claims.
Seems to be quite adamant about her innocence. We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the...
Okay, so I don't know if I'd say I confronted Esmeralda, but I at least had a little chat with her and just discussed a little bit about Jake and the murder. Obviously, I didn't confront her quite yet about the book. And the characters actually discuss kind of amongst themselves that, you know, they're going to need to find some proof if they're really going to be able to accuse her. Obviously, you know, the people around town are pretty convinced that it was her, but as of yet, we don't have any solid evidence. Even the book about how to plan the perfect murder isn't isn't concrete proof.
Haven't you? Go on. Ask me how I know. Aha! Mere child's play when you know what to look for. And luckily, I do. Do you remember when you first arrived on this plane? When the dormant portal that led us to this hall sprang to life? It's happened again, my friend. Another portal has reignited. The end of time is growing by the stone. It's all connected somehow. You, this place, the void, the stones. Soon we'll have unraveled the whole truth. Oh, how I do love a good mystery. You don't imagine that I'd presume to explore it before you? No, 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 that would be most unmannerly. And not to mention, well, No, I'm sure it's nothing. It's just that beyond the portal, I sense well, a presence that I can't quite account for. It is at once powerful and faint. Perhaps only a shadow, perhaps more. But this is only speculation, of course. Come, come, let me show you the way. Once you're through, you'll be able to report exactly what we're dealing with.
Okay, so zigzags the second time, or after you've got your second bloodstone, when you enter the homestead, he will obviously confront the heroes and tell them that a new area has opened up, which is obviously the Hall of Heroes, which I mentioned earlier, and this is how to get there. I wonder what they'll say. Okay, so let's head on in.
What an impressive
And this
room.
place is pretty cool.
A hall fit for kings.
Alright, and here we've got another interesting NPC, Astarte.
Cannot be you, but it can only be you, the Guardians. Those I deceived, those that deserted me. But oh, how weak you have become, as weak as you used to be strong. Look about you. You used to lead, and now you follow, ignorant of your faults and ignorant of your fate. That it has come to this. Woe to the world that it has come to this. He won't believe me, the fiend.
Okay, so Astarte says something about the heroes being weaker than they once were.
They save me yet?
So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, she says something like, "You're now as weak as you were once powerful." So we've apparently done we're polar opposites as far as powerful, or being powerful. All right, and then here is an ancient diary. Now this will start or give you a journal update. And I think these reflect a little bit about or on the main characters. I think that's what these are. So that journal there says something about just wanting to be in battle, like essentially the battle's been won, whichever battle they're talking about, and whoever it is writing is saying that they enjoy being on the battlefield, and then this one it seems to be the exact opposite, where this character, whoever wrote this one, has lost all appetite for carnage. So they've seem to be of two different minds on battle. So again, interesting. There he goes. There's the new journal entry. So I think you can, if you want to, you can read. Generally, I skipped
What can I do
reading
for
a
you?
lot of that
Do
stuff.
you now?
Here I'm gonna have Jahan
Yours
take
is
a
this
hike.
mistake to make,
The
Hunter.
cool thing about
And
the Hall of
yours is the
Champions now is
opportunity
I
to set it
believe
right.
your characters from now on will
shall
always
reside
go
at the
here
end of time
when you've dismissed them.
Among imps.
So, you don't have to go back to wherever you recruited them at. So, you know,
Wouldn't you look fine
regardless of
stalking
how
at your side?
useful you
Or
think
is
that
it
is,
mages you prefer?
I mean,
An
because most of
eagle-eyed
the characters are
ranger,
really easy to get to.
stealthy
They're not.
pickpocket.
There's only one that I can
Take
think
your
of that's
pick of
even
my
a little bit
swords
out
for
of the way,
hire.
but even he's pretty easy to get to. So, anyways, all right, I'm gonna buy whatever. What is this? A log and some cheese. I don't know why. I don't know. That's super weird.
I thought you'd never ask.
Okay, so let's hire us up a new goon, and then you can. I think there's a way to check out like the characters' stories and stuff. Like all of these guys have a little like backstory to them, but they're kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like whatever. It's just a little, I guess, a little fluff. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you want to call it. I'm gonna leave all these cups and the bottles and stuff here. This stuff is only useful here at the end of time. And I believe if you try to sell those to a merchant in the real world, you won't get. I don't know if you get anything for it
Who do
actually.
you think that creature
I
in
haven't
there
the
was?
foggiest.
But the
Okay,
only
so here
thing
we're
is
going
that she
to
seems
talk
know
to
us.
Zigzax and the Weaver of Time about Astarte.
How might I serve our mission? Threads I weave and tales I see. All will I tell. She is one whose history is shrouded in darkness. She is more than a woman, though less than a goddess. She knows you. You have wronged her. She is part of the end, though she longs to be part of endlessness. The threads tell me that once, oh, how many eons lie hidden in so small a word. Once, you strode across that hall in shining armor, a sovereign to all who beheld your might. I can clearly read that armies you have led, demons and dragons you have conquered, that you have ascended. But how can this be now that you stand before me a human, a mortal? How far has your soul fled from the being it used to be? New threats, more threats we need.
Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away from home, is it not? Most certainly. Ah, yes, the Hall of Heroes. Once upon a time, great feasts were held there in honor of heroes graced by the gods themselves. In that room, mortals and immortals dined side by side. I can't think of a better place to gather new heroes, should you come across such rarities, so that when needed, they can serve you in your quest against the void. Like you, she is a mystery. But she seems to know you, doesn't she? Perhaps you'll meet her again, and we'll learn more about her, and about you.
Okay, so there you have it. Zigzax and the Weaver of Time, unfortunately, don't have a whole lot to say about Astarte. The Weaver says something about how she's not, you know, fully mortal, but not quite a god or something like that. So, definitely, it sounds like a powerful being of some sort, and apparently we've betrayed her, or something like that. So, all right. Anyways, I am going to complete some of the warehouse now, I believe. Yeah, that's why I'm parking out here. So the next video will take care of some of the stuff inside here. I don't remember if earlier on, maybe in the first, no, it wouldn't have been the first one. Maybe the second or the third video. I can't remember if I actually did run in here and check out the Charmed, I'm sure, quest, but we're gonna finish that right now. Because I haven't actually done that yet on this playthrough. So, as always, I hope this guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.